Well, welcome. You made it. I'm a little late, but being tardy is kind of, just a little bit's okay. Been experimenting here and trying to make this thing work a little bit better, and I think I've got it. And I'm happy to say that today we have a very good friend of mine and yours that has shown up. Oh, yes! I'm so glad that he's back. Uh, our good friend Dale from Coin World UK. And today, as you can see below here, we're going to cover the defense of Fort Vercheres, and we'll have our general numismatic discussion. But let's bring Dale up to say hello to you, and I'll tell you the good news about today's little bit of history.
That worked.
There.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
good to see you, brother.
It's only been 4 months, right?
It's been a little while.
Yeah, 4 months. Who we got in the chat then? We had Maya's videos, of course, Christopher Ty, and me. Hope everyone's having a great time. I've been around, don't worry. I've been uploading every day. It's good to see you too, Skipper, by the way. And
Yeah.
I'm very rusty at this. Obviously, I haven't done a live stream for over 4 months. So, yeah, there we go.
You're so rusty, you're copper colored.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm oxidizing.
Oxidizing, that's it.
So yeah, as you can see, this behind me is Lauren's stuff behind me, which has been all brought down. We're still in the process of moving, and the house, if you're a massive, it's almost empty. Yeah, that's it really.
Hello.
It's when you go hello, there's nothing back. It's like, huh?
Well, you know what, Dale? Today, for our little bit of history, I found a wonderful YouTube channel that explains it in a very simple way about the defense of Fort Vercheres in a way that is easy to understand. It's about 24 minutes long, so we get to sit and enjoy a bit of a history lesson from them. I cannot duplicate what this guy has done because he's touched on this subject so well. So it's going to make my job a lot easier today. We can discuss our feelings about what went on afterwards and the way the life was back then. But again, we're still in New France.
Yeah.
Okay. And, they had a different system of laying out land, different way of having their government was laid out differently. The rules of survival were a lot tougher, I think. A lot of people today would be surprised to see just how tough it was. So we will start off with our video, and then afterwards, I'll keep an eye on the chat here. But afterwards, we will go on to do a little bit about discussions about numismatics and anything else that we care about. How does that sound to you?
Sounds like a plan.
Wonderful. Okay, let's see if I can bring this up for us.
So this is like a reaction video to.
Well, it's we
history reaction type thing. Is that
yeah, kind of, sort of. Well, not so much reaction; it is actual history.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So this is when you say French, it's like Quebec, right? On about.
Yeah.
My videos, how's it going? I got limited internet on my other phone, so I got.
Are you seeing anything?
No, I'm using Zoe's phone, so it should be okay. It's good to kind of see you there, Myers, but all I can see is your name, so I assume you looked the same last time I saw you 4 months ago.
Hold on a second here. So you couldn't see any picture. I don't think anybody else could either.
No, there's no video or anything coming up with pictures.
Okay, it worked last time. I wonder what happened. Okay.
I'm actually gonna. My eyes are okay. I've had an eye test. It's just because well, I've been looking at dates. I went to the opticians a little while ago because my eye kept running. So I went to the opticians and I have an eye test. Everything's fine, but it's just very small writing. I can't see. So I've got these old windows to see out of. So when
well, okay, I think I got it. Hold on. There we go.
Vercheres.
There we go. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
One step past. Action heroes of history. Indian fighter, Madeline de Vercheres. A 14-year-old girl held off an Indian raid for 8 days until soldiers arrived. It was an impressive feat, and she has since become a national heroine of Canada. Comparisons have been made to Joan of Arc. Before we get started, I want to state that Indians aren't the bad guys all the time, but they are this time, so deal with it! There's bad white people too. Meet Madeline. The heroine we know as Madeline de Vercheres was born as Marie Madeleine Jarret on March 3, 1678. She would ultimately be the fourth of 12 children. Madeline and her family lived at Vercheres in present-day Quebec. Back then, the province of Quebec was called New France. Madeline's father, Francois, was not of noble birth, but he was a member of the French military sent to New France. In 1672, Francois was given a sizable area of land called a seigneurie by the government in recognition of his military service. The area was called Vercheres. This is a word that can be a last name. In the late 19th century, Vercheres also became an initiative for a type of rowboat that was invented in the area. Today, Vercheres still exists as a suburb of Montreal and is located near the St. Lawrence River. But why was Francois sent to New France to begin with? The French had been trying to settle in New France for a long time. This put them at odds with the Iroquois Indians, who had already been living there from the 1640s to 1701.
Now, you take a look the way that's laid out there. And this is typical of the way they had the farms in New France, is that they always backed up to the water. So you can see each parcel of land as you're going along set up so that they had easy access to the waterway, because that's where that was their highway. They spent most of their time on the water getting to the main areas where they could sell their wares. So it was quite a bit different.
This period of time has been referred to as the Iroquois Wars. Things were ugly. The French did some things, the Indians did some things. It all could have been handled better. The French and the Iroquois were not going to be friendly with each other for some time. Madeline's father built a small wooden fort in Vercheres to protect his home, family, and the 11 other families who lived in the area. Madeline's childhood. Madeline's childhood wasn't all fun and flowers. The threat of being attacked by the Iroquois was always very real. She could still be a little girl, but she had to be wary. Madeline also worked in the family field. In 1686, Madeline had lost her older brother Antoine to the Indians. She lost another older brother, Francois Michel to the Indians in 1691. In addition, Madeline lost 2 brothers-in-law who had been married to her sister Marie Jeanne in 1687 and 1691. Madeline had to become acquainted with the idea of death from a very early age.
You can see how prevalent dying was for families back then. It was a constant thing. You not only had disease, but you also had the violence of the Aboriginals that were there, and they took because of Samuel de Champlain. He caused a lot of rift between the various tribes, and they were constantly bickering back and forth. And it wasn't just a minor tribal things. They were full blown wars. So it was pretty bad. Have you heard of this before, Dale?
No. I never. It's actually quite interesting.
It really is, isn't it?
I mean, just a question: were they French in nature? Like, were descendants from France?
They actually immigrated. These are
Okay.
the first within the first 100 years that the French settled in North America.
Okay.
So many of these people are new arrivals, or maybe one generation, not very much.
Okay, it's just obviously with Jamestown, with the settlers there, is obviously going to be different races.
Yeah,
So they travelled upwards, or they actually came direct from France or provinces or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, Upper Canada, Upper and Lower Canada. At that time, there were far more French than there were English. Far more. Okay, we'll take another look here.
And it's easy to understand why she wasn't particularly fond of the Iroquois. Red morning. It was October 22nd, 1692. Madeline's parents, Francois and Marie, were away from home. Her father had been called away to Quebec City for military duty. Madeline's mother had gone to Montreal to purchase supplies for the coming winter. Madeline was 14 years old and the oldest child living at home, so she was put in charge of the home and the fort. The fort was short-handed, to say the least. Just so you don't think Madeline being put in charge was pure nepotism, you should know that she was always a resourceful girl and known for her excellent marksmanship. She was a tough girl, and so was her mother. At this time, only 2 of Madeline's brothers were with her at the fort. She did have other younger siblings at this time, but it's uncertain where they were. In Madeline's own account of the situation, she states the brothers were both 12. Other sources tell us their names were Louis and Alexander. Madeline had a servant named Laviolette who was 80 years old. Only 2 soldiers were available to help guard the fort. As it would turn out, they were totally worthless. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. All was seemingly peaceful, but the threat of an Iroquois attack was always very real. That fall had seen a number of Indian attacks, but there hadn't been one for a while, and no one was for certain that there was going to be a raid. Even if there was an attack, it was believed that the settlers were relatively prepared. About 22 people were working in the fields. Allegedly, 8 of these people acted as armed guards to protect the busy harvesters from danger. Madeline herself was working in the cabbage patch not all that far away from the fort. In a few moments, that short stretch would feel like a marathon race. No one in this relatively peaceful but always uneasy scene knew that some Iroquois were nearby, hiding in the thickets. How many of them were there? It's believed that there were anywhere from 40 to 50. No one, including Madeline, would take the time to do an accurate head count. They didn't work for the census, and they liked their scalps. Why did the Indians pick today of all days to strike? Did they really know Madeline's parents were gone and believed that Vercheres was easy pickings? Their motivations are unclear. It might have just been business as usual for them. The Indians quickly pounced on the settlers and caught them unaware. Madeline heard several shots from the muskets used on the settlers. Laviolette, the aged servant, was already in the fort and shouted to Madeline, "Fly, mademoiselle, fly! The Iroquois are upon us!" When Madeline turned to look, she got the shock of her life. She figured it had to be about 45 Indians, all coming at her and already dangerously close. She was wearing a kerchief around her neck at the time. One Indian grabbed onto it, but good fortune was with Madeline that day. She quickly untied the neckerchief and slipped away. The Iroquois realized that they weren't going to catch Madeline, so they shot at her instead. Were they shooting to kill her, or was it just warning shots to make her stop? At any rate, none of the muskets that were fired at her made their mark. When Madeline got close enough to the fort, she cried, "To arms! To arms!" She was hoping that at least one of the two soldiers would come out to help her, but this didn't happen. There were two women outside the gate in tears. They had just seen their husbands get killed and were out of their heads with grief. Madeline, like a little mother hen, made them go inside with her. Our young heroine was in for another shock. There were no armed soldiers to be seen. No one from inside the fort was shooting at the Indians. The fort wasn't all that much to begin with, and the people inside were definitely in peril. What was going on? According to Madeline's own words, she shut the gate behind her by herself. In some written accounts, we hear that Laviolette helped her close the gate, or that one of her brothers helped. It's possible that, in all the excitement, someone helped her close the gate and she just didn't notice. Intermission.
Good time. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's wrong with this picture? We've got settlers that are supposed to be safe because they have a fort. They're supposed to have soldiers there. The natives have attacked them. Settlers have died. Who could get into the fort managed to get into it. They closed it, but the soldiers that were supposed to be there were nowhere to be seen. What's wrong with this picture?
Let's give Madeline a moment to catch her breath so we can take a look at Fort Vercheres.
You look like
it's not a very tall or impressive fort. It's a rough, rectangular stockade about 12 to 15 feet high. Like you would expect.
What's that?
I was going to say, so what's wrong with that picture? I was going to say that the soldiers kind of sucked.
Yeah, actually, I would say that too. I mean, they're supposed to be there. And you take, of course, it's a wooden fort too, which is, pretty big. Hopefully it was better looking than the one in the picture. But that looks like something my father built me when I was a kid.
Stand on it.
Yeah. So let's see what's happened inside this fort.
Yeah.
The walls were stakes made out of logs. A bastion was at each corner. What's a bastion? A bastion can be made in many ways, but it is a part of the fort that projects out from the corner and allows a person to attack from several directions, usually with gunfire. Bastions are going to be important in this story. The fort had only one gate on the river side. There was no moat or any sort of outside protection. The bastions were it. Inside the fort was the Vercheres family's manor house. There was also a redoubt that acted as a guardhouse and armory. Madeline called it a redoubt. If we were trying to be all technical and stuff, this type of building was probably more of a blockhouse. But since this is Madeline's story, we'll be kind to her and just agree that it's a redoubt. Last but not least, there was a cannon. It more or less served as an alarm system because a single cannon wouldn't do much to repulse the enemy. This is what they had: a fort on a shoestring budget to fight off a bunch of angry Indians. Stress levels were high. Back to the action. Once inside the fort, Madeline looked around and noticed that several of the stakes in the walls had been knocked over, leaving gaps that could make it easy for the Iroquois to enter. Madeline ordered the small number of people at her disposal to raise the stakes back into place. She helped with the stakes, but certainly couldn't help with all of them as she had other pressing matters to attend to. Madeline headed to the redoubt for guns and whatever she could use to fight the Indians. When she got inside, she found the two missing soldiers, Labonte and Gallet. One of them was lying down on the floor. The other was holding a burning fuse. "What are you going to do with that fuse?" Madeline asked the soldier. "I want to set fire to the powder and blow up the fort," answered the soldier. The soldiers wanted a quick, merciful death instead of defending the fort and its people. They were willing to kill everyone in the fort rather than do their duty. This enraged Madeline. "You are a miserable wretch," she said. "Be gone. I command you."
Well, there's something to look at. I wonder where they hired these two from, because that's horrible.
Well, I would guess, the French always sort of give up easy, don't they? It's sort of a knock-on effect, really, isn't it?
I had a feeling you'd say that. Yeah, I mean, come on. These guys, they're willing to kill everybody in the fort just so that the natives don't get them. Yeah, they're brutal. But
yeah, but you still, but the fact is
have
you've got a
weapons,
young girl. You got a young girl who's only 14 years old, who's got two, let's say, Lauren Hardy professional soldiers. You got grieving people. You got dead husbands on the outside. And yet she's the only one who is level-headed right here. But you got these two cowards who want to kill everybody rather than making a stand to protect the people. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's not only sad; it's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was embarrassing to the words right out of my mouth. But going back towards the shots with the muskets from the Iroquois, is it Iroquois? Do they say?
Yeah.
Those muskets were not rifled, so I guess so. They probably weren't that accurate anyway. Only depending.
Yeah, they were black powder, smooth bore.
Yeah. So who knows? Luckily that she obviously managed to get the necktie untied, because that'd have been the end of her fate if they would have got hold of her. Because I think going back to the first statement, they knew that parents were away. That's why they never attacked or kept the peace. So they waited for a weakness, and she was a prize target as ransom, I should imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. I don't think that anything would have happened. I think they would have wanted for a high price.
They could have. The other thing I'm thinking of on their side of the situation. Here's a fort, and atypical. Most of them would have known that these forts were guarded by soldiers.
Yeah.
So here she is. That she mentioned that a lot of the poles had broken out, and there's a big gap in the walls. But the Iroquois didn't attack them when they were fixing that, and I think that's part of the reason they got away with fixing it, is that the Iroquois were hesitant to go near the fort because they didn't know what was inside.
Or they sort of knew maybe the French would have just blown the fort up rather than kill themselves, let them kill each other.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know anything about the Iroquois. Have they witnessed this before? Has any of their
this is a common occurrence. That's why she mentioned that she had older siblings that had been killed by the natives.
So, I mean, I'm only going by this literal video. I've never even heard of this before, and it seems really interesting. I mean, I don't know about your thoughts or anything like that as well, or anybody else's in the chat, but I mean, I'm just surprised about these two French soldiers. Why were they left? Were they the weakest? Were they not fit enough? Were they always You always get like some kind of like,
or they could have witnessed something in their career that made them realize that if they were captured, they would be tortured than killed, and they would rather kill themselves than
yeah.
allow themselves to be tortured. We don't know.
When was this again? Sorry, when was this again?
Oh, son of a gun. That was 1692.
All right, so it's quite kind of early then, early history of France settling. So maybe they've probably heard stories or seen stories that other people have been through. So I think they're probably petrified. I mean, who knows? We're not there, so you know, they're French, aren't they? So
let's see where this goes from here.
yeah, okay, yes.
At least the fort wasn't going to be blown up. Madeline didn't have a lot of time to think, but she already knew that she was going to need strategy to repel the attackers. Immediately, she knew that the Indians needed to think the fort was full of soldiers. She took off her hat and put on a soldier's casque. Casque is a French word for helmet. This helmet may have looked something like a hat. I need to hit the pause button on this part of the story. A lot of illustrations made of Madeline have shown her wearing men's clothes along with a man's hat. Historians like to argue if Madeline actually wore men's clothes or if it was even necessary. In the years that came after this incredible story, people that told it liked to compare Madeline with Joan of Arc.
Can you get? Yeah, I was literally going to say.
Just build up from there.
Just pause it a sec.
It is.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't know that picture was obviously going to come up, but Joan of Arc was allegedly had her hair cut short and wore armor to hide her female agenda or gender, because it was frowned upon for women to be at the front lines or in the army or anything. So that's probably where the massive comparison comes from, and her bravery, of course.
Absolutely. All right.
It is more logical to assume that Madeline put on the casque for better head protection. With a musket in her hand and a soldier's helmet on her head, Madeline told her brothers that it was up to them, and their duty was to save the fort. Something in her words even made the cowardly soldier snap to, at least for a while. Madeline's two brothers and the two soldiers took to the bastions and kept steady fire on the enemy. Madeline ran to the cannon and fired it into the air. She had two reasons for doing this. One, it was a scare tactic to the Iroquois to show that Fort Vercheres was a force to be reckoned with. Two, it was made to alert the fort's other soldiers who were away hunting to stay away and take refuge in some other fort. Laundry day. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The Iroquois were around the fort, sacking and burning the houses of the settlers while killing their cattle. Everyone knew this was going on. For some reason, it entered Madeline's mind that she had left 3 sacks of linen and some quilts outside the fort. It further entered her mind that she really needed that fabric. This might sound like an entirely stupid risk, but here was the reality of the situation. Material for clothing, at that time, was an expensive necessity and very hard to get. Madeline had been placed in charge of it. She had left the linen to bleach by the bank of the river. If it was at all possible to retrieve this material, she had to try and bring it back. Madeline asked the two soldiers to go out with her to retrieve the clothes. Showing their cowardly colors once again, they refused. Madeline was more than a little put out with their job performance so far. Exasperated, she had her two brothers accompany her. She did, however, tell the soldiers to keep their fire at the enemy. At least they did that much. Madeline and her brothers brought back the linen and quilts without incident. It's amazing and incredibly brave, but Madeline had a certain swagger about her that even the Indians had to acknowledge. Inside voices, please. With all the gunfire and commotion, the sounds of constant crying and shrieking could still be heard by the women and children. It was understandable. They lost loved ones already and were scared. Nevertheless, Madeline had to explain to the women that they had to keep quiet. If she and the other defenders of the fort could hear all that sad, terrible noise, so could the enemy. The Indians would think that everyone inside was helpless and easy to conquer. It was hard, but the women and children managed to control themselves. Stepping out again. It wasn't long after Madeline's talk with the women that she spotted a canoe on the river. It was family friend Pierre Fontaine and his family coming to visit. They didn't know what was going on. They had to be saved. Madeline ordered the two soldiers to go to the Fontaines and help them. Being devout cowards, they once again refused to leave the fort.
I would have given
Madeline then told her servant Laviolette to stand sentry at the gate and leave it open while she went to the Fontaines. She told the people that if she got killed, that they were to shut the gate and keep fighting to the end. Madeline had the idea that maybe by leaving the gate open, it would psych out the Iroquois and make them think it was a ruse, like they would be running into a trap. With musket in hand and a helmet on her head, she went to the bank and met the family. A bit more trickery was to follow. Madeline had the Fontaines march before her, calmly, to give the Iroquois the illusion that there was more danger in them attacking. Madeline and the Fontaines were flexing, but it totally worked. They got safely inside and shut the gate. When the light goes down. Day was slowly but surely turning into night. Madeline knew the Iroquois were still out there. The weather was turning bad. A heavy wind blew from the northeast, bringing with it snow and hail. Plus, it looked like the storm was going to settle in for the evening. Amazingly, the bad weather wasn't scaring away the Indians. Madeline believed they were planning to invade the fort under cover of darkness.
It's making me cold.
In all, Madeline now had 6 troops in her command. 2 were her brothers. 2 were the soldiers.
So they were in...
1 was Laviolette. The other was Pierre Fontaine. She ordered Fontaine and the 2 soldiers to go into the redoubt with the women and children. It was the strongest, safest place in the fort, and they could defend themselves from inside. The 4 bastions would be occupied by Madeline, her brothers, and the 80-year-old Laviolette. Like before, they made a lot of noise and pretended that they were a big army. They regularly called out to each other, "All's well," from their respective bastions. The Iroquois were completely deceived. This would later be confirmed by the Iroquois themselves. The Indians had really wanted to make a full attack on the fort during the night, but wanted to play it safe. Besides, they had already lost a lot of men that day thanks to Madeline and her brothers. And the cow says, "Muh?" It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. The weather was still bad. In the moonlight's reflection on the snow, the small band of heroes noticed some of their cattle outside the gate. They managed to get away from the Indians. Laviolette wanted to let the cattle in. Madeline halted him. She knew the Iroquois were smart and not to be underestimated. There was an old Iroquois trick where they would disguise themselves with cattle hides and march inside the fort behind the real cattle. Madeline did not want that to happen. However, she also didn't want to lose any more cattle. She decided to have her 2 brothers stand by the gate with their muskets ready to fire. The gate was opened and the cattle were let in. Fortunately, there were no Indians trying to sneak inside. Were they gone? It was hard to know. There has to be a morning after. Morning came, and everyone inside could breathe a little easier. But that didn't mean the Iroquois weren't out there. They fired the cannon away. The Fontaines were all cool with staying at the fort, with the exception of Pierre's wife, Marguerite. She was a bit snobbish to begin with, and denounced the fort that gave them safety, basically calling it a dump. Marguerite wanted Pierre to take the family to Fort Contrecoeur, 3 hours away, where she would feel safer. She wasn't letting up on her demand. Pierre finally told her that she could take the children in a canoe if she wanted to, but that he would never leave the fort as long as Madeline was in charge.
Even back then, there had to be that class of people that felt that they were privileged, you know, and sitting here, they are sitting in the basically a huge wilderness, and they're still hoity-toity. So, I can't handle it. It's so dirty in here.
Yeah, and no matter what's going on the outside, you know what I mean? It's just like they're trying to fend for their life with two chickens as well. I wouldn't say there was 6 soldiers. I'll say it was. I think the women and the kids were babysitting the 2 soldiers.
Essentially, and of course, all this going on with hostiles outside the fort. You got a raging blizzard going on.
Yeah.
Like, why would she want to go anywhere? The only way to get away from there is by boat. Can you imagine being on the St. Lawrence in the middle of winter?
No, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to be there.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, though, like, it just goes to show, you know, a little bit of trickery and determination. It's a shame that nobody else, the adults, I would say, was questioning this girl's motives and why, unless it was some kind of mutual respect with, okay, she's in charge, regardless. But I don't know, those 2, the weakest link they got right now is those 2 French soldiers.
Yeah.
And being in there is a lot safer than taking a chance on a river. I don't know what it was like. I don't know how, if it was rapid or it's still, it's, you know. I mean, whether they, how long, it was 3 hours away. So by boat, you're talking what?
No, when they're talking 3 hours away, it's by boat.
Yeah, so you're talking what?
It's really not
20 miles away, 20 miles away, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
So you're talking like that's going to be almost an 8-hour trip if it was calm and there's a decent flow to the river. That would have been more of a risk because the Indians could follow down. But I don't know how scouty they were or how they knew their land, but. I would have stayed put, to be honest, because at the end of the day, and another thing, what gets me, you got a 14-year-old firing a cannon, which is no easy feat because if you put too much powder in there, it's going to explode. If you don't put enough in there, nothing's going to happen. You know, you got to wad it and clean it, and so she obviously knows what she's doing.
Well, her strength of character is such that it puts everybody else to shame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see where the Joan of Arc is coming from here.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I can't wait. Let's see what's happening now.
Madeline was never going to abandon the fort, ever. The following days were difficult. She didn't eat much, and she didn't get much sleep. At the same time, she did her best to stay positive to keep everyone else from freaking out. The Iroquois were probably long gone by this point, but how could they be sure? 8 days later, assistance to the fort was not speedy. Why would this be? There are no great answers. Did the winter weather hold them back? Were they busy somewhere else? Or did they just not know that Fort Vercheres was in crisis?
I think that's more than likely.
Whatever the case, and according to Madeline, it took 8 days for the army to arrive. Madeline was having a rare moment of sleep. Her head rested on a table with her musket across her arms. All of a sudden, one of Madeline's sentries, probably Laviolette, heard voices on the water. It was night. He told Madeline, and she quickly went up to the bastion to see if it was friend or foe. Thankfully, it was the French. From the bastion, she talked to the leader of this outfit, a Lieutenant Lamonnerie, and agreed to meet him down at the riverbank. Lamonnerie had with him about 40 soldiers. The weary, but clearly competent teenage girl saluted the lieutenant and famously said, "I surrender my arms to you." Lamonnerie famously replied, "Mademoiselle, they are in good hands." The lieutenant inspected the fort and was blown away by the fact that not only was it still standing, but it appeared to be in satisfactory condition, with a sentry at each bastion. Madeline made the request that Lamonnerie relieve them of their duty, as they had been there for 8 days, which he gladly obliged. What happened next? Lamonnerie and his men captured the Iroquois who so terribly plagued Fort Vercheres and returned the kidnapped settlers. By this time, Madeline's parents had returned, and news of her heroic actions had spread throughout the land. We know of 2 deaths for sure, but no one believes the white fatalities were very high. It is also believed by some that the settlers were tortured by burning before they were saved. We don't know how many Iroquois were killed. Madeline was a good shot, and she wasn't the only one shooting, so it's reasonable to guess that they got a lot of them. Life returned to normal in Vercheres. Francois and Marie Jarret would have 2 more children, bringing the total number to 12. Madeline became known far and wide as Madeleine de Vercheres, named after the fort she so gallantly saved. Sadly, Madeline's father died in 1700. His military pension was then transferred directly to Madeline due to her defense of Fort Vercheres, but only if she kept providing for her mother. Madeline managed Vercheres and worked hard to keep it from falling into great poverty. She also spent a lot of time hunting, and anyone who knew her agreed that no one was a better shot. You would think this tough living would have made Madeline a hard, bitter person. Actually, there are accounts of Madeline being a nice, agreeable person with great charisma, but also modest and ladylike. When she did have a temper, however, she could be quite sinister. If you acted right around her, Madeline would treat you right. If you tried to get in her face, she'd drop you like a ton of bricks. In late 1706, at the age of 28, Madeline married a lieutenant of the colonial regular troops. His name was Pierre Thomas Thiroux de la Peyrade, and he came from an old noble family. They lived at Saint Anne de la Peyrade, a seigneury in which Pierre owned. Ownership of Vercheres was transferred to her husband. I'd like to say that everyone loved and respected Madeline in her lifetime, but that just wasn't the case. She and her husband were the leaders of Saint Anne, and not all of the tenants liked them. For the most part, Madeline and Pierre really didn't do anything wrong, and the courts upheld it. The legal dramas are too much to get into, and they don't define who she was. Madeline and Pierre Thomas had 5 children. Only 2 of them survived to adulthood. A number of heroic stories about Madeline popped up after the 1692 incident. It's hard to say what is fact and what is fiction. One story from 1722 is a standout. Her husband was lying sick in bed when he was attacked by a group of angry Abenaki Indians. Why did they attack? That's one part of the story we don't know. An Indian came at her with a tomahawk. Madeline was able to take the tomahawk away from the wild Indian. The excitable assailant then jumped onto a chest. Madeline struck him in the stomach with his own tomahawk, and he fell to her feet, dead. All of a sudden, Madeline was surrounded by 4 angry Abenaki women, and they were about to kill her. It was then that her 12-year-old son, Charles, came to her rescue, and the family gained the upper hand. The Abenaki surrendered. You would think a woman this tough would never die, but she did at the age of 69 in 1747. Her husband would die 10 years later at the age of 79. Madeline was buried under the pew of her church in St. Anne. It's all in the details. Historians have debated about what Madeline did and how she did it. She was a real person, and she did save Fort Vercheres. That we know for certain. The story as it has been presented comes from 2 official accounts in Madeline's own words. A lot of research was put into the details of the story that Madeline didn't give, in order to present the most faithful account of her adventures. Madeline de Vercheres is special, and she deserves to be celebrated as faithfully as possible. A young lady's legacy. For many, many years after Madeline's death, her exploits fell into obscurity. It's unnecessary to look for an explanation. Time plays into it a bit, as do political and social views. Madeline wasn't rediscovered until the 1860s when her own manuscript letters were found. After that, Madeline was given a lot of love in Canada through the 1920s for sure. She became the subject of poems, art, literature, and other touching tributes. A play was made about her in 1918. One of the first French-Canadian films was made about her in 1922. Her likeness and her story were used for recruitment posters and such things in both World Wars, encouraging women in Quebec, as well as all of Canada, to participate in the war effort. Somewhere along the lines, in the middle of the 20th century, all his attention to Madeline dropped off. She has never been completely forgotten, but she hasn't been celebrated enough. Not one, but 2 statues of Madeline were commissioned. Although both statues are similar, it is the big one that stands in Vercheres that has become most recognized. As a matter of fact, it is the best known item associated with Madeline. Erected in 1913, it is a bronze statue that stands over 23 feet tall. The detail is quite impressive, and it faces the St. Lawrence River, just as she did all those years ago. Madeline's story is for everybody, not just for girls who want to do big things. It's about looking the devil in the face and spitting in it. Forget the odds.
Wow.
Well, it was really interesting, to be honest. I enjoyed that.
That is something else. That is something else. That's yeah, a lot of people do not even know about her, and to see how she even affected modern times, World War I, World War II, as a recruiting poster, for Pete's sake, Canada. Bloody amazing. So
That is amazing.
I thought that was quite cool. So, and like I'd shown before, the even though all that was going on, they still had to use currency to not just the barter system, but they had to use various currencies to get by.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, things like playing cards were used.
There we go.
You know, these are the kind. This is the kind of currency that was quite prevalent in New France at that time. So I'm glad we got to share a little bit about this lovely lady who, at 14 years of age, put a bunch of grown men to shame, and at the same rate saved a lot of people. And she's been an icon, especially in Quebec. But I think everybody deserves to know a little bit about this lady.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got, as you say, you got Joan of Arc. I mean, it seems to be 2 French young women saving French territory. You know, one in the 15th century and one in the 17th century.
Mhm.
It's it's really, really, really interesting because what got me is like, how would she know how to fire a cannon? It's not an easy thing. Um,
She must have watched them do it. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because she's living at the fort. They had to do drills. I mean, that's what military do. I
well,
mean,
kids
so
get curious; they ask questions, don't
yeah,
they?
of
So
course they do. And of course, a lot of the time she had to know how to use a musket. I'm sure she hunted,
they lived off the land,
lived
definitely.
off the land. You know, sure
Um,
they grew stuff in their little plot of land they had, but
she probably knew at her age more than what how to plant and grow stuff and main and survive more than what would kids do today.
oh, absolutely,
The nearest thing they hunt is their parents' money to go to McDonald's.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, um, and survive those harsh winters. Um, and she was. I mean, I don't say that inside she was probably scared and petrified, but
Mhm.
she saw adults, you know, foundering on the feet. Like, I mean, what and those French soldiers, however true it was, or it's only in her words, but wanted to blow the place up to smithereens so they couldn't. And that was a whole. I mean, she didn't just save a lot of lives; she saved a whole village that still exists today.
Mhm.
Um,
I,
and
it's the strength of character she had.
Yeah,
She must have been enraged at these two guys. Not coming forth and defending people and willing to kill everybody. You
yeah,
know,
wanted to kill their own rather than fight it out. Um, and I like to know what happened to the two soldiers eventually when the other French soldiers turned up, because I don't think that they knew about uh, the attack, because there was they had no communication. There's no way of running messengers or scouts or whatever to ask for help. She just knew that they were on their way. Um, but as I said, the winter came in, didn't it?
yeah.
Overnight, and it may have been held up. So they've had to take shelter. Their sails, they may have been on the river. Depends how far they're coming, or but what a brave girl. I mean,
Hmm.
14 years old. Um, Absolutely, hats off to her. Like so um, you
Yeah,
can't beat heroism like that.
yeah.
Uh,
She deserves to be remembered. But when you're speaking about the soldiers and how they dealt with it, it didn't say anything about what happened to them
hmm,
later. But I would imagine that she would have had to give some sort of report to the lieutenant and let him know, what happened. And what about all the other people there? They saw it. They
yeah,
must have they must have seen what these soldiers did. So I think they got absolutely lambasted. They probably end up going into a prison cell for what they did. I don't know, but it's
yeah.
cowardice.
It's cowardice, which is very frowned upon. They probably got shot. That's that.
Yeah.
Treason in some kind of form. Um, uh, um, That's if they didn't. She might have covered for them.
Mhm.
This is your chance, like to redeem yourself. Um, I mean, they didn't even go out to go and get the laundry, for goodness sake.
Yeah,
Um,
that was pretty gutsy too.
and she went out there again to meet the soldiers and to get the cattle in. Um, what a girl, man! Superhero.
Yeah,
Um,
it's absolutely wonderful.
I want to know what the chat is saying about it. If they've got any views or um,
It's been pretty quiet.
because I can't see chat. So
Yeah, I'm
So,
keeping it here.
what made you come across this story then? Is this something that you
Well,
remembered?
it's one of those things that's there's many stories about Canada that are not well known, and when it comes to how violent a place Canada really was, they had massacres and uh, wars that went on in Canada. Actually, well over 300 of them that went on that people aren't even aware of. I like this story because it's not just about the battles. It's about the courage of one individual to overcome the situation, and shows that with all the odds that were against her, she succeeded, and she deserves to be remembered.
And don't forget, she wasn't a trained soldier. She had trained soldier.
She was
Well, I'd
14
say
years old, for
yeah,
Pete's sake.
14 years old. I mean, and looking after her family at the same time.
Yeah,
And being cunning and using tricks, um, and babysitting two grown men. I mean, I don't know how old they were, but what was the other bit? There was one more piece. What happened to the Indians? The Iroquois? Iroquois?
after they ran away, but they captured them.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't
They
know
got
what
they
their fate
ran them
was,
back.
but they did get them.
Right. Okay. And who was the other Indians after? Like, I don't know about when they settled in. Um, what was their names?
Oh, that it wasn't. They weren't Hurons. They were or
They were
Algonquin.
different. They were different. They were different. Indian uh, tribe. Is it? If you call it a tribe.
It
Um,
seems. Yeah,
um, why did they attack them? Were they descendants or was it revenge?
it's because no. You got to remember that they had a the Iroquois Confederacy. They had 5 different nations that have joined together,
Right.
uh,
Okay.
and they fought in against quite a few people, quite a few people, and so I'd have to again do a little research to get the names of all of them. I'll probably have it for next week. But
Right.
yeah, it was they were in full blown warfare for years and years and years, and it was actually the French that basically primed the pump on that one, got them all fighting, and it's just terrible. A lot of it had to do with land and with the fur trade,
Mm.
and of course, when the British got in there, they made sure the French had enough people to, with the help of the native population, to attack the British as well. So yeah, it was a rough period to live in. I'm count my blessings, even though we got a really whacked out world as it is right now. That is harsh. That is harsh, hard daily living. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Here we are with the internet and with talking to you're on the other side of the bloody planet. We can talk to one another. There, it would take months and months and months of sea travel.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Okay,
harsh,
yeah.
bad weather, lousy ablutions and lavatory problems, and
Well,
just you
dysentery was
name
the
it.
worst disease
Heaven
at the
forbid
time.
if you got sick. I mean,
Yeah. But I mean, you got. I suppose when you're brought up in that sort of situation, that's the situation you know of. I
mhm.
don't think as a nation or any country today would go back to that and survive.
I don't I don't think today's society would be ready for it. Some people might, some preppers might be able to do
Yeah,
it, but
some preppers, maybe some, well trained people, but I don't think they will survive a long term traveling across Canada. I mean, it's the second largest continent or country in the world,
mhm.
and um, it's and then going back then with just the clothing you had, and you didn't have proper winter clothing. There was no real North Face jackets or tents. You had to build
Oh,
everything.
they were relying on linens from Europe and whatever homespun they could make.
Yeah,
And
everything
fur.
was built. Yeah, everything was built on. I mean, you didn't have a weather forecast to say, right, it's going to be a sunny day today. You either walked into it or it hit you in a second.
Yeah.
You know, you either froze to death or melted. You know what I mean? And then you got to hump all that equipment, and the logistics and that alone is crazy. Because obviously, before that was all built up, we're talking about a built up sort of small town that had to come from raw materials. So the people before that had it harder. So that they build the fort, that build the houses, farm the land. They still had attacks from different natives. So you know, the times she must have 14 when she was a baby for 14 years. You know, there must have been another 20, 30 years prior to that when it was just land. You know, maybe longer than that. So her father, you know, her father was a small child in the rougher times. So
Yeah.
you know, everything's built up from zero. And it's just crazy how, I mean, she's just what a girl, what an absolute legend.
Yeah. It's a wonderful story. It really is.
I really enjoyed that. I'm surprised I didn't realize it's actually from a comic book. He was actually,
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I mean,
Um,
after I reviewed it, I'm going, I can't add to this. All I can do is discuss it because he's covering just about everything about this young lady. So, and it looks like KK's in the house. Hello, KK. But
is that Kathy's Corner in it?
yeah,
Christopher Ty.
very nice.
Um, Mayor's videos was in Christopher Ty. It's kind of weird trying to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to share this and get that down. Here we go. All right. The newest book has come out from Charlton. It's the standard catalog for Canadian coins. And you'll take a note right here. It was always a single year. Well, it got out so late, they're covering both 2024 and 2025. And this is, in my mind, my opinion, this is the best book for Canadian coins you can get. They have other ones out there, but honestly, this one is incredible. It's the 77th edition. This is a good book to get a hold of if you're collecting Canadian coins.
How much is that book to grab?
It's $36.95 Canadian, $32.95 US, and £27.95 in the UK. Yep, €31.95.
No, I haven't. All my collections in a storage unit somewhere.
Yeah, I'm aware. That oh boy, that must be rough.
I am literally like restraining myself, like going on my phone, just like, I mean, I went in town the other day and I went up to the comic book store and I got nowhere to put anything. So, I was looking around thinking, I want to buy that one. I want to buy that one. I want to buy that one. But we had an interview today, so we should be known by Friday, yes or no. Everything seems to be pretty good.
Oh, good.
So the interview went well. So, but it's, I can't wait to get there because there's some great filming to be done. I know I'm waiting, but I said till Friday. I don't know. So I reckon we got it. I reckon we got it. The guy sounded really.
We're praying for you, buddy. We really are.
Just so just a clue where we're going. I can't remember if it's the Parliamentary War or the 100 Years War. Not, I can't remember which one it is now. But it was the very first battle that was by mistake with 24,000 troops, and it's I can't remember myself now what it's called. After watching that, Hedgerow Field, it's called.
See if I've got this here. Just trying to. I picked up some new coins.
KK. Just what I'm saying.
Them tucked away. Where are they? Oh, here we go. I'm going to show you some of my new renditions that I picked up. Just going to make sure I don't get them. I spent most of tonight or last night sorting these out. So
I haven't got anything to show you.
Well, I know you don't, but you know what? You will.
Oh, plenty of catch up. I know I've still got members out there to sort out. I haven't forgotten. I've got the prizes to sort that out, but other than that, it's here
we go. All right. New renditions. I picked up an 1882p Morgan dollar.
Yeah.
It was okay. This is the first purchase of the Morgans that I've done since I sold off my collection. I cheaped out, picked myself up another silver maple leaf. Always good for stacking. And I decided to start getting into the Newfoundland coins. And so, I picked up a couple pieces for the new piece.
I think I've got some Newfoundland coins.
Yeah, they're, if I'm going to collect coins, and that doesn't show up very well.
Trouble with flips with copper coins or bronze coins, I should say.
Yeah, that. And
I missed this, Skipper. I really have.
There's another one I picked up here.
What's that one? Hang on a minute.
I don't know if that's.
Can't really.
Where'd my loop go? Hello. Hey, yep, she rises.
Got 6 people in the house.
Hi, everyone. Let's see if I get that. Oh, it's a 1935 3 pence.
$1935 is that King George VI.
Which is nice. And Hot Dog Diggs, what a nice guy. Since I last saw you, Ontario has been getting a lot of the counterfeit toonies. And I said, we don't have any. Well, I've not run across a single collector out here that has had any of the counterfeit toonies. And he says, "Oh, I'll send you some." So he sent me 2 of them, and one of them is it's 2002. Another one says it's a 2006 again. It's not real. These are counterfeits.
Hang on a sec.
Of course, he's being polite. He calls it a split toe, and that's the only way that you can tell on these. So they're very well done for counterfeits. But
so they're counterfeit ones, they are.
Those are counterfeit ones. So they're.
I just went on chat a minute. KK wants to come up.
Oh, okie dokie. Let's see what I can do here.
So I keep flickering. So, what makes them counterfeit? Then is it the way they're made? Are they...
Well, first off, counterfeit was made by a crook that decided to make some money, and so they're he copied them fairly well. I don't know if it, of course, it won't be the exactly same material, but the design flaw again is the fact that he did a split toe on the polar bear.
And that's actually gone out by the Royal Canadian Mint as well, is it? It's a warning.
Oh, of course. I mean, literally, they had millions of these things going out. All of Ontario is absolutely inundated with it.
Because that's a lot of work. It sounds like an organized crime gang doing that if there's loads and loads and loads to cover.
Okay, guys, there's the link. As long as we keep it civil, come on up. And there she is.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. You're coming in abstract.
What's that mean?
It means you're all little squares. Is she like that for you too, Dale?
No.
You can see her? What is it about? She comes on it and I can't see her.
You have me blocked.
No, we don't.
I know that. I just teasing you.
You just you look like an Andy Warhol painting.
Here, I'll go back out and come back in. Here.
Black Money Corp. How you doing, my friend?
Black Money Corp and who else came in? Oh yeah, it was KK, wasn't it? So you're gonna get some of these old French, new French, whatever they're called. I can't remember. Old French. Was there currency back then, or?
Oh yeah, I probably could get some if I wanted them, but again, classical numismatics is not something I can go back that far, but it gets a little bit harder to get a hold of some of these things, and you're paying a premium, unless they're really junky. I don't want.
But even the thing is, I don't mind those type of coins because at the end of the day, there's still history. Someone still used them. I know it's not decent ones in there, but it's a good start.
It is
in some respect, especially if you're new and you want to learn these things. And then, as I said with my videos before, the way I collect my coins is that I ask if they got, in the back, what they got in the back, what they've had for a long time. Whether people, take that advice on, just phone around a load of reputable coin stores on the internet, and anyone and say that I've got X amount of money to spend. Some people have more money than others, and go, what can I have? Have you got anything that's been collecting dust for a while? Not really bothered what it is, as long as it's from a date and beyond the sort of thing. You never know what you get. I've had some amazing coins just for a few pounds, 20 pounds. I've had great old coins. I mean, I even found that 1867. No, it wasn't an 1862 Virginia Confederate note.
Well, look at that one you sent me. I mean, you sent some great stuff to me.
Same as, vice versa. But my favorite coin I sent you was the well, not only was it the King Henry V coin, which was obviously I'm not sure if it was used in as an Argencourt or anything like that, which I doubt it was, but it's a perfect farthing. It's cut well, it come from a coin store. And what else? You got that pirate cob.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? I'm trying to think. I can't remember what I sent you now. The Barmaid's Ruin.
One of my favorite coins, that one.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love that one. I brought that to this my coin club, and they thought it was awesome. It's especially good when you tell the story.
Yeah. I mean, when I showed that, I had to show the video so you understood what it was. And the great funny thing about it is that it was forgotten about, and they never took it off the census to finish the coin, so it's still technically in circulation. But
I know that, of course, you wouldn't want to use it.
I mean, you know, there is only 4 coins in the years made. There is different types of coins that you can get, yes, but out the 4 years, I mean, I got the 1888 one purely because that's when the football season started. Officially, it was 1888. So,
Black Money Corp says, was that Confederate note minted in Richmond, Virginia?
I have absolutely no idea because I don't have it on me because it's in my. You've seen it. It's in my video somewhere.
Yeah.
It's in one of my videos. Don't forget, I got nearly. I can't remember the video. I got nearly 6,000 videos. So,
yeah.
If you search it,
all his stuff is in storage. So
yeah, all my stuff's in storage, man. So I have nothing to feature or to show. So the coins you're seeing at the moment is what I videoed a long time ago. So I wanted to have something going up every day because I know if I'm monetized and I don't want it to stop. Otherwise, you end up getting demonetized. So I thought ahead and just threw everything on.
Did you have to say, KK?
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
Was there something you wanted to say? It looked like you're trying to.
Yeah, I did.
I know the feeling, right?
That's so masculine of you to.
I wanted to say, you know, guys, you are 2 of my favorite YouTubers. You really are.
Thank you.
Very honest and loving guys. And my thing is still hurting in that. This thing keeps swelling up, but I can't handle it. Coins and that. Now, what do you need on American coins, Skipper?
What do you need on American coins?
What would you like to have?
Oh, what would I like to have in my collection, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh, dear Lord.
Everything.
That's to ask a coin collector that. I want it all.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you my favorite coins. Morgan dollars are my favorite.
Okay.
The Walking Liberties are another one that I enjoy collecting.
Okay.
I do. I'm working my way down. The quarters are great. I'm starting to rebuild them again. Again, I sold my whole U.S. collection.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was asking you, young man.
I got a lot of buffalo nickels. It's probably the only thing that I held on to. I got, and somehow I missed my book of Mercury dimes, so I have a fair number of those. Nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars,
pennies, and all that.
Pennies, yeah.
Copper ones.
I know. Yeah, I do collect them, but one of the things I want to do now is, I had all these little albums and all these. What was the other one? The Whitman, the Whitman album. I had that, a bunch of them, and it looks so messy.
Yeah,
it didn't look nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get myself into the Dansko albums. Now, the Dansko, up until this last year, were very expensive because they stopped making them. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? They're making them again. So I can start getting the Dansko albums for the U.S. collection.
Okay.
And the reason you want Dansko is because they're like my Lighthouse albums. They've got them all dated. Every slot's dated. It has a plastic goes front and back, so you can see it.
Yeah.
It's safe. It's safe plastic. It's not PVC and stuff. It's not going to discolor your coin or anything. It's got all the information. You can look in the back covers and see, oh, that year is a key date. They made such and such, millions of these things or whatever. Yeah. And that way, it makes the task of collecting more. And when I say more current, I'm talking the last two.
Yeah. In other words, Kathy, what you're saying, it's skipper proof.
It's skipper, yeah. Whereas when you're talking classical or ancient coins, that is a very, very tough niche to be in.
That's what I like doing.
Yeah, you have got to like research. You got to have bloody good eyes. You got to. Yeah, no kidding. You got to be able. Ogre Coins is in. How you doing? You've got to. You've got to be able to. I hope he got his package. You've got to be able to take corrective criticism, because 9 times out of 10, when you identify the stupid things, that they're wrong because your eyeballs fooled you. It's not. They've got so many variations. Most of them are hammered coins, and a lot of them are have been wore down to the point where you can't read the Greek. The only ones I can tell easier, the ones that've got the Athenian ones with the owls and stuff. Those are easier. And you got to realize, because of the rarity of them, because ancients are hard to find in good condition, so many of them are counterfeited. You got to be so careful. You go on eBay, you can see tons of them. I ordered my first time I ordered my silver denarius, the one I wanted from Mark Antony's Legions. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, that's in my Davison's books. It's a lot of money.
A lot. So I ordered one online. It was beautiful. And then I had a buddy of mine on Discord look at the picture. He goes, "Cancel it now. Cancel it right now. That's a fake." And it was like $80, right? It was a really nice coin, right? So I canceled it right away. Thank goodness for eBay. They're pretty wonderful. I found a place that provided me one that had the attribution done, which is much better. You don't have to do any of the heading.
Skipper-proof.
Yeah, skipper-proof. You got it right. And now I've got, and it's, of course, you can tell the wear. It's not as good. I now know I have a silver denarius from Mark Antony's Legions. I wanted one because I love that story. Yeah, I love the story of the Cleopatra and Mark Antony.
Cleopatra's the last ruler of Egypt.
Yeah,
and
the Ptolemies.
Yeah, I think it was 79 AD when she died, or something like that. I can't remember.
She'd be pretty friggin' old, because she was with Caesar in 40 BC.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't AD. It was BC that they cooked up.
And I've checked that out because there was 2 Caesars.
Well, yeah, because everybody took Caesar's name.
Caesar just means king.
His adopted son, Caesar Augustus.
Yeah, Caesar just means king.
But Caesar was his name. The first one was Caesar. So they all said, Caesar, that's a good name. That's what we use for king.
Apart from Romulus, he didn't have a king. Romulus.
I mean, come on. If it had gone long enough, it would have gone into Japanese horror flicks, and we'd have Caesar Godzilla.
Yeah. Or a Caesar salad.
Well, yeah. Actually, we did.
Dale, I don't know if Skipper Tail, I still call him Num Num. Okay, I feel I'm the only one that's allowed to call him Num Num.
I am a bit num.
Anyways,
BC.
What I wanted to say is, maybe you can get together with us when we have our trivia night. And that.
Yeah, the trivia nights are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been in the trivia nights. I think last time we done one, because obviously I've been away for a while, because obviously I'm trying to sort stuff out. And I didn't know you changed your name.
Yeah.
Because you've done it a little while ago. You changed your name, didn't you?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I've been in a few times when what's Miss Seven Bow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she's up to these days. I don't know. Should last time I
same, you know, shopping and being a character, you know, on all the time and that. She's into coloring adult coloring books and stuff like that right now.
Adult coloring books?
Yeah, she's into that. She went to the adults. She skipped over the little kids one. She went straight to the adults.
Oh, she's got plus 18.
Yeah. Can't be the same adult coloring books I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, she gets all different kinds. You know her. And she gets into this that she goes, like when she used to tie-dye, she goes right into it and buys everything she can and all that. And what was I going to say? So she got all kinds of pencils and markers and gel pens and everything like that.
Because a lot of the people that I know don't do videos anymore. Went on their channels and went around. They haven't done anything for a year. They haven't done anything for 6 months. They haven't done anything for this. And I'm thinking, you know, what's going on? Has something happened? Is it? Most people they've gone back to work through, you know, after the hoo-ha.
Well, it's not as nice as it used to be on YouTube anymore. It is a very dangerous places. I don't know what word I want to use there.
You do have to be on your guard. It's important to have reliable moderators. You have to watch the trolls. Some really nasty ones have been out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing much of the. There used to be one that was I don't know if YouTube fixed it, but they used to come up with all those sex things that.
Yeah. They fixed all that now.
Yeah,
but I've had my issues with people, personal issues with people, and I had threats. I told Skipper all about this, and my channel was threatened, and that's probably why my because I even put a community post out as well on my community. It's one of my later ones. I haven't done it for a while because I've only got limited internet, so I'm using Zoe's phone at the moment because she's got unlimited. So she'll want her phone back in a bit. So yeah, she's sat over there just twiddling her thumbs at the moment. No, she's just sorting out some paperwork, to be honest. So I'm using Zoe's phone.
Silver teas in the house.
Yeah.
Not over with.
So yeah, it was a case of like just going to the people that I know, because, you know, I always give people the benefit of the doubt until something happens to me. And I had a very, very, just to cut a long story short, I had an email from somebody who was very well known in the community, threatening my channel. They sent one of their henchmen over, and he threatened my channel, and which has now made a knock-on effect to my channel because it has, and he's only out to get what he needs to get if the truth was known. I got the truth. I've shown Skipper, and he used to be. Well, he's a very friendly person, but he's got a hidden agenda that is only for him. And I told him this in an email. I sent an email to him, and I said, "You don't even give a damn what you sell. And if someone couldn't afford to pay their rent, you wouldn't blink twice and take their money. That's the truth." Okay, I goes, if you really want to put this email out, I will show you all the emails. I will do it back. I goes, I don't want to be associated with you. You are selling stuff that I can actually get from your Royal Mint and still send it to the people for the same price I bought it for. And trust me, the stuff he sells is relying on error coins, which are not error coins. This guy cannot survive without trying to do something, because all it is just smoke and mirrors to make himself look good. But in all reality, he is using other people to do his work for him. And whatever you do, do not buy anything off him, because he is overcharging double or even quadruple or even more than that, and he wouldn't even think twice whether somebody was homeless the next week. That's all I got to say about it.
Don't worry about it. I don't buy things unless I want it.
Exactly. Unless you can afford it and you don't go short. I mean, I've always said, if you're buying something off, do your research first before you see any of these coins on any of these your auction sites. And because all they want to do is support their sales. There's a couple out there are really genuine, really cool. Don't get me wrong. Spray Can is amazing. I absolutely really love Spray Can. He's a really nice guy. You throw in extras if he can. But there's people out there who puts off a really genuine, really nice. I fell for it, and when I was watching him one night, he was selling stuff that only cost around about a few quid here, and he was selling it for like nearly $80.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend one. His name's Coin Op. Okay, Coin Op is very honest, got the best, and he can tell you anything and everything about the coins and that. So check out his channel.
I do have a little bit of an issue with Coin Op. I don't mind mentioning his name, because one day I was sat there and obviously I got family lives in America, and I said, if I buy something off you, can you send my brother's address? He said no. Blah 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 blah. And I thought, well, what's the problem? And one day he was selling a coin, and he had all he had was a magnifying glass. Like he was there going with a a coin in a flip, and he was going, oh, this is a 60 set, this is a 63, 64, 65, 66, or MS 60. And I said to him, why don't you just go all through the MSs, and you got one to 70, 65 to 70. Why don't you just tell it? Because how can you actually tell from a magnifying glass when you actually get it graded by PCGS NGC, where they use magnetrons and all sorts of other testing of the depth of the coin and the image, right, for deep cam and all that, and how many layers it's got, because some coins got a double layer, some coins got triple layer, especially Canadian coins. They got a double layer coin. You wouldn't notice that by the naked eye. You have to have an X-ray machine to do all that. That's why it's expensive to get it. Go on, Skip.
I'm agreeing with you 100%, but I'm going to add, I'm a trained evaluator. An evaluator is not a grader.
No, but he was saying grades out.
And that's what I'm bringing up is what you're seeing, and that's just one. I see it all across the internet and many, especially on YouTube, people saying that such and such a coin is graded, even marking that the grade on the flips, which is it's not. Don't ever look at those.
No.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say, and I want everybody to remember this, you have different levels of evaluating what a coin is worth or approximate grade. You have the evaluation, which is basically take a quick rough look, have two or three dealers, coin collectors with you, look at it and go, okay, that looks like it might be VF or whatever. Then you have those that take an assessment. Two types of assessments, verbal and written. The difference between the assessment, I mean, it's a little bit more detailed than an evaluation, but when you get into the written assessment, that puts the onus on whoever's doing the assessment to get it right. Because if you're doing an assessment for someone that wants to, say, sell a coin, and you say this is an MS-65, and it's worth X amount of dollars, and they go out and they do a written assessment on it, they can come back to you if they don't get that value from that coin.
Yeah.
And it's the assessor that's going to end up nailed with the difference. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah. The other thing I got a gripe about putting grades on. I mean, as I said, I don't even look at the grade on a coin flip. Is because if you want to buy something and you need it, just remember you can do your research and maybe buy it off the internet cheaper through proper coin stores. I'm not saying eBay or anything like that. I don't really recommend that, but I know you can get some good stuff, and people do have proper shops on eBay and all that. I do get that. But my gripe is that if CoinUp says this is MS-64, 62, 61, whatever, and then you pay for that coin on his price, say $100, when a basic coin costs, say, $40, and you go and get it graded, it costs you X amount of money to go and get it graded, you get it back, and it's nowhere near, and it says ungradable, sorry, this is not a gradable coin. What do? Do you get your money back? And all he's going to do is say, right, send me the coin back, and I will give you the money back. You've paid postage, you've paid for the grade, and is he going to replenish that for his sake? No, I don't think so. That's why you got to. I'm not saying he's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't like it when he looks for a magnifying glass and says, I will grade this. But you're not a grader. You are a YouTuber who is selling coins. And yes, I understand you want to make money, but is a point of making money to actually ripping somebody off by saying, oh, I wouldn't go out and sell a coin. So, I recommend. I would say that all my coins, if I was selling and they're out of a flip or out of a set, to me that's a circulated coin, and I would sell it at circulated value.
Anytime you're trying to explain raw coins to an individual, you shouldn't try to indicate that it is a specific grade. That's wrong. It should never be done. But you do have to verbalize it and say, well, look, I've taken a look. I can evaluate that coin to be approximately this grade. But I would recommend, now you take a look. I would recommend that you ask 2 or 3 or more other people who are proficient in coin collecting, dealers or collectors, to get what they think. And then if you get enough people to say it's that approximate of a grade, then you can say, okay, that's probably worth X amount of dollars. That's worth sending in to have professionally graded.
Yeah, another thing though, to take account, everybody, don't forget, you are looking through 2 cameras or sometimes 3, because when you're doing a YouTube video or even doing a video, say I do my coin videos, unless it's come from a circulated or an uncirculated coin set or a proof set, I would write proof and the proof value.
Well, the proof, if a coin is proof,
I'm going by what it says, what the proof value is on that coin, or the coin set at least, right?
Yeah.
Well, the set you sent me, the 2023 set, okay. I would only put, because there's no circulated coin condition. There's nothing there, so it's only an uncirculated coin set.
Yeah.
So on the back of the coin set on the Canadian, what people don't understand is when you get a Canadian coin set, there's something like 12 different uncirculated sets. You have to look at the barcode at the back, and that will tell you what set it's come from and which mint it come from. So, and that way you know where the mintage figures for that coin is. But there's no valuation because they're evaluating the set, not the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also when you're looking through on a YouTube video, you are looking through a lens, someone's lens, then you're looking at through their camera and it's coming through your camera. So you're going to get a different light or you are in natural light. You're going to get a different shade than you are in natural shade. Your camera may not be set for 4K, or your camera may be set for 720, not 1080. So there's going to be different pixels, what people may see as it's coming through. But on their end, when I'm looking at a fantastic coin where when you're looking through different devices, like a really old computer to a brand new computer, to a Mac, to an Apple, to a Windows computer, it's going to have different kinds of graphics coming through. Depends on the type of graphics card you got and what they've got. So
one second, Dale. I'm sorry, Dale, to interrupt. Hey guys, I'm having problems with my eyes. So I even put my drops in, they're not working. So I'm going to go. Much love and respect to you guys.
Thank you for dropping in.
Oh, you know I love you guys.
Yes, we do.
You know. Hey,
try and catch up with you on your quiz night.
Yeah. I will be trying to get my channel up and running again. But
they're a lot of fun.
It's good to see you anyway. But yeah, it's there's lots of variables that you go through, and I just take it as face value what the coins are, and if you need it, yeah, buy it. But you don't have to. There's no such thing as like coin collecting. To me, is about having fun and enjoying it. It doesn't matter how big, and it doesn't matter who gets there first. It's about enjoying yourself, pacing yourself, and not trying to do it and get yourself into debt. And that's including stacking as well. It's supposed to be fun and talked about, but I mean, at the moment, I discussed with Skipper and Austrian Stacker, and there was so many auctions. They went from coin collecting, and then you had loads and loads of people doing coin collecting, and then there was like thousands of auction sites popped up. I mean, not everybody can take money off people in one night. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean? People's got to live. There's a living crisis, for goodness sake. Anyway, let's just go on to the chat a minute. We got blistering barnacles and Ogia coins, silver Tanifer.
Yeah, apparently they missed us.
Oh, we missed you guys too. Oh, the move. The move is ongoing. That's Lauren's covered from a bedroom, so the house is upstairs is practically empty. It's just beds up there now. All my collections and other stuff is in a storage locker. So I haven't got anything to show at the moment. Yeah, exactly, Blistering. I know Blistering's been smacking up those coins on the old shorts. I think the last one you've done was the Bailiwick Jersey, I think, or Guernsey. Actually. I can't remember. I've only got limited internet, so I run it through our TV, and I did shut down the internet there, but because we haven't moved yet, they've reopened it up. It's very, 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 very slow. But yeah, I cannot be bothered to watch these auction things all night. I just can't be bothered. I'd rather do this and talk about people's coin collections, what they know about their collections. Hopefully try and help people if they can. Not about values. Maybe how to sell their coins, or what to do with their coins, how to put it in order, maybe if you knew, and things like that. But the tools you may need, calipers is probably one of the main tools you need, and a magnet.
Oh yeah, good earth magnet, calipers. It's a lot. You're using the 2x2 flips that don't use the staples, but if you do use the staples, get yourself some pliers like that where you can.
Yeah, I use stickers.
I
don't use the sticky flips.
You just don't want to ruin your pages, because staples really can do a number on the sheets. And
and they rust as well, especially if they can get moisture in there, like because obviously some
If
classes.
you live in England, you're going to end up with rusty coins because of all.
You're going to end up with probably more rusty coins than we are. You live in a more colder climate. They say that England is wet, but I think Canada is a lot more wetter than England with the snow on the ground.
Not this last year. Last year was the driest winter ever, except
Yeah, but Canada's
the last 2 weeks has been nonstop rain. I haven't been able to cut my grass in the backyard, and it looks more like
more moisture in on the floor in Canada is in England.
Oh, jeez. My backyard looks like the jungles of Borneo out there. I mean, I don't have grass. I got bamboo.
Yeah, but you've got over 1 million lakes in Canada. I'm about Canada as a whole country. No, I'm living in whatever time I've got when I look.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying. Blistering Barnacles has got great stuff on his.
Yeah, he's been posting out really, really fanatically lately. I don't blame him. That's what you should do with your channel. Just enjoy it. Just post anything that you find.
I can't wait. I wish I had a bike that had a basket and an ET. I'd be booting it around the countryside too. But I have a bike I can't get my leg over.
If you actually have a look at a bike with Skipper on it, have a look at one of his shorts.
Oh, that one. I forgot.
Okay, he's got like little pink tassels on, and he's wearing his his biking jacket. Yeah, and he's trying to, and the tires are flat as anything. I mean,
well, at the garage as long as they did.
Hey, Passion Stacking. It's good to see
Jessica's on. Hi.
Yeah, Jessica's changed her name now, isn't she? But yeah, it's worth it. If you want to laugh, just have a. He looks like, I thought he was going to get his hog out, waiting for a 1200cc bike to go on there. No, it's a pedal bike. And the funny thing is, his daughter is trying to hold him up.
But it had good sound.
Yeah, the sound of silence.
Well, I'm having fun with my world coins too. It's just I go in with my sheet of paper, and they have the big bins. And I was shocked. I was shocked the other day. He brought out a separate bin, and it was all silver Canadian coins.
Who was that?
That was over at the West Edmonton Coin and Stamp.
Oh, okay.
And I saved myself a bundle. Yes, they're maybe VF, but that's good. You don't want anything less than VF in your collection. But the prices he charged, I almost did an Irish jig. Because I probably got half a dozen coins that I was missing in my collection and filled those holes. Yes, fill in those holes. And then I said, well, what do you got? Bring on your trays, the ones that you've checked over. Let's see how much they're gonna be. I bought 2 that cost me 5 times the amount that I spent on the half dozen I got from the tray. But I wanted them. I said, those ones I need. Because I'm at the stage where, like you get the stage where you've got all the modern stuff. You've worked your way back. Now you got nothing but bloody key dates you're trying to fill in. And those key dates hurt the pocketbook.
I mean, it's. I mean, yeah, we got key date stuff here. Yeah, I get that, but I will always favour the older coins over the more modern stuff.
Oh, me too.
Especially when you think of it. I don't know. I'm kind of like, not firstly. I like. I know it's nice to have proof sets. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I like coins that may have a story. You never know who held it, or why did they buy it? Why is it here? When it's from a different country, it ends up in your country. You think, how and why did that get here? Did somebody have it and drop it? They might have carried it, whatever. But is it older than it's supposed to have been? It's it's just the mystery, I guess, which I like. Because you put a modern coin in the ground, it's gone within 10 years, more or less. Get a Roman coin, it's been around over nearly 2,000 years, and it's still in fantastic condition.
Oh, well, yeah, I've seen it all the time. Look at the ones they find down the southern states. They're looking for all the old coins. They're basically right down. You can't even tell what they just look like a piece of copper.
Yeah, they just look like they're just ready to go and get repressed or something, you know. But yeah, I mean, look at the Indian head. No, sorry, the buffalo nickel. Because of where the high perforation of the date is, you're either lucky to get a date or it's blank.
Yeah, and that's where they're using that damn nicodate to figure out.
Yeah, but then if you get a good one, a hard date, you know, key date one, then you put that on there. That's it. That's ruined. I mean, I've still got quite a few of them because I still like them. I think the buffalo nickel is like our 5 pence. It's so underrated. You know, I don't like our new 5 pence, the size of it. I think it's ridiculous size what it was. But the old 5p size is fantastic.
Silver Knight Kyle. I haven't seen him in like forever. How you doing, brother?
Silver Knight Kyle. How's it going?
Good gravy.
Is Silver T still in here?
I don't know.
I haven't seen him or heard from him for an age, man.
Yeah, it's so nice to see him. Yeah, I noticed there's been quite a drop off on YouTube since the pandemic kind of has faded away.
Yeah, I've been on channels and I think, oh yeah, I'll go and watch. Not there. I haven't been there for like months and months. And it's a shame really because some people have some really good channels, really good information and stuff that I was learning from, and it's like, nah, I'm doing anymore. Either they realise it's not as easy as it is, or collecting is not their thing, or they've gone on to do other things, or change their name and done things differently, and you know, it's
he was
I'm kind of like lucky when I started. Well, with one film, really lucky when I started. You know, one person decided to sabotage my channel by getting it flagged up, but I've been lucky with people that I've met around, you know.
Have you got a George banknote yet?
What?
That's what Blistering Barnacles asked. Have you got a George banknote yet?
A George Washington banknote?
I'm not sure. Well, he's probably talking UK, so I don't know. A George?
You know about a Charles banknote?
Or Charles? Yeah, I could see Charles, but we don't. You know what? I've not seen any of the paper currency here.
They're out, but you have to go to the bank and get them.
Yeah, I've not seen any of the bills in Canada. I know the coins are coming out now.
I think yours is going to come out later, aren't they? I think they're going to come out.
Yeah, they're very slow.
But they're out. But it's like I haven't seen any of the coins. I've been asking around. There's no coins down where I am at the moment. They're not expecting to get down here until. I know they're out everywhere at the moment, apart from here. And it's kind of annoying because I've been to the banks and they said no, we've been asking for them. We haven't got any. We've been asking. NatWest down here, they haven't got any of the King Charles coins at the moment, and it's going to be quite a while. I reckon around about Christmas by the time King Charles banknotes actually come into circulation properly. You know. Luckily, I got all the Queen's banknotes, so it's just a Charles, and hopefully I can get all them before he clogs it, and then old William's in.
Now, there's an expression I haven't heard in a while. Pop your clogs. Yeah. I do have King Charles coins.
I got some King Charles coins, but on about the the ones with the nature on there.
I should have taken the initiative and ordered some with the D-Day.
Yeah, the D-Day ones look pretty nice actually. But I think they're not circulated coin, no, are they?
Yeah. Speaking of D-Day and how much you enjoy history, I got something to share with you. Out of the blue, a distant relative got a hold of me and asked me, did you ever meet your Uncle Huey? I said, no, there's a name I haven't heard in years. Yeah, that's you talking about Hugh Iveson. And she said, yeah. I said, yeah, I remember a few stories my mother told me about him, but I knew very little about the guy. The only thing that I could remember was that she told me that he was sent back to Canada because he was part of that group, much like Saving Private Ryan. All his brothers got killed, and he was the last member, and they shipped him back home because they didn't want the whole family to lose everybody. And I discovered that, and if you remember, I was in Europe in 2017, and I went through all the cemeteries in Europe, and I didn't know his two brothers, they're family members of mine, are buried over there. Until this lady, this distant relative, told me that in fact he is actually got family that's over there. Well, the story. Hey, Kyle. Good to see you, brother. Oh, look at the baby.
There's a baby on the TV.
Is that a grandchild?
Yep, that's my granddaughter.
Oh,
This is Haley.
wonderful.
I wanted to peek in before she went away. I'm poolside with the grandson and her. Oh, you on the TV? What's Nene doing?
Hey.
Goes. Trying to.
So just to end that story, I was told that when my Uncle Huey arrived back in Chatham, he was in uniform and just coming back from Europe. He was met with his wife and his little daughter, who was all dressed up in a nice little dress and everything. And his daughter came to run over and hug him, and he pushed her away. Actually, pushed her away. And his wife was really, ticked off a little bit, but they put her aside later, and he explained. He said, "I couldn't hug my daughter with the hand killed so many people." He actually had that complex where he felt so bad about what he had to do, he couldn't hug his own daughter. I thought that was something I'm sure was quite prevalent at that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story. Now I see Kyle there. He's in sunshine.
Yeah.
What?
It's a grand old 70 degrees here.
Good gravy.
It was 80 degrees yesterday, but the grandson wanted to swim at the pool, so we brought him up here for a minute.
We had snow just up north of us,
and
it was like 4 degrees Celsius here, which is
like. Do you realise this is like the Weather Channel? It's like snowing where you are. It's actually raining last night, howling rain last night, and now we got the sunshine. So it's like the 24-hour weather service around the world, isn't it? The accurate one.
The weather on 3 continents. All right, I got to get back to things, but I wanted to check in and send my love to you guys.
Good to see you, man.
If it was a quieter day, I'd jump on with you for quite a while, but
try not to be a stranger. It's been too long.
Way too long. Dale, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just in a transition of moving, but it's been a nightmare. Been nothing but a headache the last 4 months. It's a lot of things are happening over here, and it's ruined. Elections are coming up, And as you know, it's election year for a lot of countries, but it's a nightmare. Put it that way. It's moving used to be so easy and not so stressful, but bureaucracy over here is just ugh.
Too much.
Yeah, too much, too many people. I don't know. I will have to have a rant about it, but I don't want to do it. Really, to be honest. But hopefully, fingers crossed.
Take care, gentlemen.
We've got some.
I'll see
Cheers,
you soon. We'll see you soon.
You take care. Look after yourself, Carl.
Wow, that was a treat. I haven't seen him in a
I haven't
long
seen him in an age, man. He looks good, doesn't he? Eh? From what he went through.
Yeah, I know.
The tune in now. The weather. Yeah. Tanny just got it right. He goes, we got the weather from the now, the weather report from the future, and obviously Skipper's always behind. So we got the weather from the past, the past, the present, and the future, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's what happens when you're living so far out in the boondocks. Got these guys living down Tasmania and New Zealand, and good grief.
Tiny just said that. Was it my collection that held up the move?
So he said yes.
I need a house just for my collection. A house? You're on about a block of apartments, don't you? Each apartment is a drawer. For every country I've got.
Tracy was telling me there the other day. She says, with the kids moving back in with us, we're going to have 2 youngsters and a baby in the house, and it's once Dale and Zoe finally get their own place, I'm apt to ask to go visit someone to get away from here.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to, of course.
Just got a plot of course, dead middle of England. There you go.
Yeah, the most centre part of England, hopefully. Can't wait. I'll reveal it when it all. Well, I'm saying 99% of it is going to go through because the guy seemed pretty confident because the amount of money we rent here and the price of the property that is there is a quarter of the price that we rent. So no, I'm not, but I definitely got. He seemed a nice. The way he was talking today was no. Well, it's like a lot of people, but I'm just saying he even said not to worry. But they don't normally ring you up unless they don't go through that for no reason. So I'm 1,000,000,000% optimistic anyway.
Good. Yeah, I have to get out.
Moving the bank vaults, apparently.
Yeah,
I'm moving the bank vaults.
I've got to go out and get myself a storage container as well. I've got to get out there and start putting half my stuff away because my son's putting half of his in the house, but the other half in storage. I want him to make it feel like the house is his as well as ours, not just ours.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the thing, though, isn't it? When you sort of house share, you sort of still feel a visitor sometimes when you can't put your like here, right? We're not allowed to do anything to this. We just got to keep it here. When we pay over the odds, and you're not allowed to put any paintings up, not allowed to do any decorating, you're not allowed to touch anything. It's ridiculous. We've been here 6.5 years, and I can't wait to get into this place and have our own way of we can put our own carpets down. We can put our own, stuff up on the wall we want. I pin Zoe up on the wall, and me and Lee can start throwing balls at your hat again. You got.
Well, can you imagine me living in a place like that? The way I put stuff up? Oh, good grief!
Your whole wall. You don't need wallpaper. You got pictures.
I've got no place to put anything now.
Cranky stacker.
Yeah, I saw him last time.
No, it's nice to actually go somewhere and live rather than exist. Nebraska, USA.
So I'm going to flog my challenge to everybody out there. Please join our 7-day challenge to identify Canadian coins. It's on my YouTube channel right here. You just pick it. We're in our third 7-day session. Last one, this guy here won it. He doesn't even probably know yet.
What did I do?
You had the best answers for identifying the Canadian coins.
Was that the 1906 thingy?
It was one of them. Anyway, I have to look it back. So we're now into the third week, and I'm not giving any information on these coins other than the fact I'm showing them to you, obverse and reverse, and who the monarch was, and and it's up to you as members of our community to use the resources at hand. And looking up on the internet's not cheating. I want you to get used to looking up the information. It's part of the hobby. You got to learn, whether it's online, using the book. That made a mess. Using the book. Whatever resources are available, and the one that puts the best information over the course of the week for each coin will be selected to receive a sticker. And if it's really good information, I will include a coin with it. Well, may not be the best one, but you'll get a coin along with a Numismatic sticker.
Do you know what? I didn't even know this was a competition.
It is. You didn't know that? It is. It's a Canadian coin challenge.
No, do you know what? I like it actually. I like the way you've done it. It's fantastic. Recommend it to everybody to have a look all the way through. And we've got Austrian Stacker in the house right now.
I'd see that.
And,
wonder if we can convince him.
With all the beers he's drunk that I've seen on Instagram and stuff, I'm surprised that he's actually spelled Austrian correctly.
Ooh, that's a shot.
Because if I had one beer, what he drank, I mean, I'll probably end up speaking some kind of different alien world language.
Oh, which you now?
How's it going, Mr. Austrian Stacker? Anyway, it's good to see you. Cranky Stacker. Who else is there? Blistering, Silver Tanifer.
Yeah, I've been picking up a fair amount of the Canadians. This week I bought a lot of Canadian silver. Wait a minute. You took a ferry trip directly from Ireland to France? I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to step on English soil.
Well, the Titanic did it, didn't they?
Oh, good grief.
It went from Southampton to France to Ireland but couldn't make it any further.
That's true.
I think you can get Cork. What's the other port round there? There's another port round there where the Lusitania is as well. Hey, Jessica.
Yes, you're right.
How are you doing? Yeah, around the southern part of the Irish Sea, isn't it? Or the Atlantic, whichever you want to call it. Even his car got seasick.
It's funny he mentioned that. I didn't go as far. I took the ferry across from Plymouth to Dieppe, and the one thing that it wasn't the car I had a problems with. I thought I was going to be a smart man. I wore it because it was wet and a lot of spray and everything going across. I put on a poncho, went on deck. I turned into a flippin' sail. I almost got blown off the damn ferry. Oh boy, that was a mistake. And of course, my buddy Billy, he thought it was funnier than heck. You were smart.
You made yourself a parachute, basically.
Should have had another Guinness before you went up there.
It's good to hear you, Jessica. I hope you're doing good. It's been a while.
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Was the family all right?
This past Saturday, I came home from the hospital. Went to the hospital with some stomach issues and stuff. So we were there for a few days, and finally came home Saturday.
So everybody's okay now, then? You're okay, and
I'm okay.
Yeah, we're doing okay. My dad is still very weak, though.
Well, prayers to your family anyway.
There she is.
Thank you.
You're still doing your what was it you done when the last time I saw you? You're doing I know you finished your paintings off, but you was doing those dream catchers, weren't they? You was doing.
Well, I must admire his beard.
Yeah, I've been busy painting today.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I'm working this painting, and then I got to do a bigger painting of the same painting.
You have to show us when you're done, because your art is really, really cool.
Yeah, well, I got the first one. Yeah, I got the first one done.
Oh,
make Jessica bigger, please.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Here we go.
Ooh,
that's fantastic.
Get out of there.
Yep, it's called Relaxing on the Beach. Got my initials on the bottom.
Have you ever had problems with those initials?
Do you know what I do in my paintings, don't you?
No, not.
I don't do initials. I put my finger. I put my finger. My actual print of my finger in there.
On it, but I was like, I'm gonna do PS for short because that's right.
If I would have saw your painting with PS, I'd be looking on the back for an extra message.
Yeah, we call it a postage stamp.
Let me cover the back part. See?
Yeah, I always put my thumbprint in mine.
Oh. Yeah, so that's the name of the painting.
Yeah, look, yeah, she does have stuff in the back.
Yeah, it says Relaxing on the Beach, and then it has soft canvas, and then it'll say acrylic, and it has my name. And it has a date where I finished the painting.
I can't wait to start. I must start more. I've got so many canvases I've got to go through.
If I could paint, I'd do it too. But I used to do crayons, but I was pretty young.
Yeah. His wife still gives him crayons now.
No, I'm not a Marine. Yeah, no. The only thing I play with now is my boots when I have to try to get them on at Christmas time. They are so hard to get on. That's my challenge every year.
Sleep. He sleeps with them on, so you have to keep taking them off.
No. I would not want to sleep with those boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin's
Yeah,
I don't paint, I have a camera.
Yeah, earlier this month I got me a haircut.
You got yourself a haircut? I'm growing my hair, getting it ready so I can bleach it white in late September. No, in October it'll have to be bleached white because for this 70-year-old guy, I still got blonde on top, and I bleach it white come Christmas time.
Yeah, my hair is short up to here now.
Well, I'm trying to grow my hair, but
oh
my
God, yeah. Look, that's what I look like for Christmas, getting ready for my seasonal acting. Brat. And that's what he looks like. He looks like an elf that's been rolled over with a car.
Do you know those Bien biscuits? Bien. Looks like one of them. Even Jason's like.
Oh my Lord.
What else we got on here, Skipper? You never know what we've got with you, do you?
Yeah. There I am in my normal suit. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to get more photographs of Skipper because I want to make him a pack of cards.
What?
Then it will be a pack of cards, and he can actually learn how to play crib properly.
Oh, wait a minute! Now you're starting to stir the old pot here. Yeah, you're pretty quiet there, Magnum Man. What are you up to?
Oh, not much. I'm running between the computer room and the kitchen. I'm making dinner. I happened to see that earlier somebody posted you're in Nebraska. Somebody was in Nebraska.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, what are you guys doing in my backyard? Get off my lawn!
That's way southeast to me. I gave up the Great Lakes for a prairie schooner. Oh, good grief.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to get me killed. I think I still got the thing. I wore that during the pandemic because it was a special, everybody was wearing masks.
No, what happened was, I'll be honest, what happened was he wanted a suntan. And this is a snow tan.
The snow tan. Where is my hat? I think I got that one still. Yeah, the joke was the joke was like my kids brought me this really cool hat back from the States, and it comes with a mask to protect me from the coronavirus, and you just drop it down like that.
Now put your finger in the mouthpiece. Go on. Put yourself large, then do it so people can see it properly.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh man. Do you know that? Do you know what reminds me
During
of?
the pandemic, what surprised me is that there wasn't a rash of bank robberies. Everybody had to wear masks. Well, how would you?
Oh yeah, I know. Is that funny?
Hey, look, he said that about his mouth moving. Look, that's clever.
I know.
Do you know that reminds me of, Skipper?
I am an honest man. No, wrong.
Do you know
wrong.
what reminds me of? Right, is
Oh
you remember the Men in Black? And he goes,
Yeah.
he pulls his head back, is better.
I like this one. See, look. It's not anymore. We got Trudeau. Let's not get into politics. Oh gosh. God. Give me, Lord, but we're in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
look.
goodness gracious.
Oh dear, oh dear. Let me get this down here.
Bert and Ernie. We've had some fun over the years, Skipper.
We've had lots of fun, and that's the whole idea with this is enjoy. Yeah. But I don't want. I will not wear.
Where'd
No,
Passion go?
she always hides behind her little unicorn.
She hides. She's fine.
Okay.
She's probably painting this picture right now.
You didn't scare her away, did you?
She's probably she's probably painting a lovely portrait of Skipper in his true mask.
I'm the last person that you'd want as a political figure now, because apparently, and I've had people address me with this, you're too old. You don't understand the new culture. You don't
There
even know.
she is.
You don't even know what pronouns are. I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, you are, they are. No, they're not. There's 555 of them now.
Is that? I thought there's more than that. I thought it was like 1,400 of them, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, in Great Britain, because they add more.
Yeah, what they call them? Micro pronouns, macro
Well,
pronouns.
can you imagine being a student in school today? I'd be gone. I couldn't have even. I thought it was bad enough when they changed the math, so I can't even help my grandkids. We don't do it that way anymore. Oh, that looks simple.
I don't know. Just funny.
Yeah, well, Passion wants to paint Gail as a cookie.
I can't find my cat. Makes me wonder. Should I be worried?
Did I see you with coins?
Oh, hang on a minute. There's another one. Hang on. Where's that other one gone? I know you've got another one somewhere, Bill.
Austrians. Bye, Austrian stack.
Kenny, what? I
7,
haven't done a
10.
Christmas painting yet this year.
Sorry, Jessica.
No, the thing silver tanning wa. I bet Passion's Christmas painting will contain Santa and his little helper.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Santa's little helper. Hey, do you want to see Skipper taking his coin collecting to the extreme?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Put
minute.
me up big, please, Skipper. Right, this is how much Skipper. Right, this is one of his jobs he had to do at West Edmonton Mall. Right, for advertising for the coin shop.
What the heck is that? Oh, the box! I forgot all about that one. You kept all of them.
Coin flip. be honest. That seems a mascot for the coin store.
I forgot about that one.
This is the obverse.
That's me as a box head.
No. That's with a coin flip.
A coin flip.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you're just killing me here.
I love these pictures.
The things I do for the 6 weeks I work.
Well, you know,
You're killing me.
well, I just say that even though you're in a box, to me it looks like a coin flip. Sorry, you're just taking your collection to the extreme where you want to be a coin. Actually, when it was like this, yeah, he puts his Etihad on, you know, King Etihad, or he should be the first king of England, you know, Ethelstan should be the better one, and when he's looking face on, he looks like an actual coin. If he was painted silver, I think that would be pretty cool. I think you should do that there, Skipper.
Okay. Tell you what else. Okay, I found it. I found it. Now, it's the one you were bragging about. Okay.
Let me just see Austrian stack. All
right, there we got it set now. See if I can make this work.
Where's that?
How did I do that? Oh, no, that's not it.
I don't know if I can find this video.
Have a blessed evening, Cranky Stacker.
There it is. Share screen. This is the one. This is the one that he was telling everybody about.
Oh yeah. Look at this. This little. Look at him all geared up. Look, they're ready to go on a angel trip. Here we go. Listen to the engine roar, guys. You know, Huey Lewis.
Just be careful. Make sure you wear a helmet.
Yeah. He's going to start out. Ready? That's going to go. Now look at the tyres. Look at the tyres.
All right.
They're a low profile tyre. Ready? Here we go.
Sure you want to go on this ride, Dad?
Oh man, what a hog.
There you go. Yeah.
I love that short. Oh, that is
the old hog, all right. I couldn't throw my leg over a real motorcycle if I wanted to.
What it was, right? He needed to go and get some shopping, and he had to go for the drive-through first. Get to McDonald's.
It was one of those fun things I did with my daughter. It was good.
That was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing with that, man. I watched that about 30 times, I think. Brilliant. Just all kitted out. It's just cycling off.
Okay. If I ever get my buddies to do what I want to do, of course I gotta get myself a GoPro and a what do you call it? One of those little drones. And I would like to start really getting the After Service Adventures Canada channel going, because I really want to do some of these. Now, most of these guys are all ex-military; they're all veterans, but we want to try to live like we're 16 again. So we're going to do things that we should not do.
That's a
Things
good
like,
point.
imagine all of us with a rifle in our hands, walkers in front of us, doing a rundown in the rifle range. Right? Can you picture that? Okay.
That'd be the slowest armed cavalry ever.
Yeah, but you know what? I can get into the kneeling position really well with a walker. Anyway.
No, that's called falling over.
Funny thing.
Yeah.
Okay, where I live in an apartment complex,
Yeah.
and we have 5 or 6 of us that all have mobility scooters. We're called the Scooter Gang.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh man.
That's where you line up and say, "You want to race?"
We do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Skipper, I got when you do that,
Numinous,
I've got to watch that.
I'm gonna
What's that, Jessica?
Numinous, I'm gonna go ahead and get off because I'm almost finishing.
Yeah, I
doing
know.
dinner.
I'm going to be finishing up in about 5 here too, because my beloved is reminding me that I have to go to the store.
On his bike.
Not on my bike.
Okay.
Thanks for coming up, hon.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Jessica.
You're welcome. You too. I hope you have a blessed evening.
You too.
I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
I know a bunch of us wanted to do hot air ballooning, but we couldn't find a balloon that could carry us all.
Well, the Hindenburg crash, you do know that, right? It blew
Like,
up.
we'd be able to hold the bloody thing down okay, but gosh. Yeah, there's that we want to do. Please tell Peanut Brittle I said hello. Oh, geez, if I said that. He's got a good memory. That was a long time ago that I let the cat out of the bag. My nickname for Tracy. My wife is British, so I call her a peanut brittle, and the reason why is because she's a fragile, nutty British person.
Now, I might lose you guys. I got to deliver a meal to one of my Scooter Gang buddies. So I'm doing that now.
That's too cool.
Well, if he just paints Royal Mail on the site, he can lose it if he likes. So it almost got there.
So I did another thing I wanted to tell you, Dale, is I did go to see that movie, the Great Escaper. It finally hit the theaters here. 2 years it took.
Oh wow.
Michael Caine. I have your copy. It's going to go out as soon as you get moved, along with your winnings. And you will get to watch The Great Escaper. You're going to love it.
Oh, I can't wait.
What's that?
Michael Caine is an amazing. He's in the army as well. He was.
Oh, I think it's one of his best movies.
What's that other one he was in?
Batman.
Yeah. Oh God, what was it? Well, it is. He was a cleaner, a janitor in a diamond factory. Yeah, and he gets a collaboration with one of the women in there, and he steals all the diamonds. And the way he does it is amazing. I'm going to give the plot, but I can't remember the name of the film.
Oh, if you ever do, let me know. I'd like to see that.
Actually, I can find it now. Actually, just quickly.
I think we've lost Magna Man. So did anybody else want to bring anything up before I end the stream here, guys?
Yeah, Flawless. It's called Flawless. If you ever see
Flawless?
it,
Oh, I'm gonna jot that down.
it's a fantastic film. One of my favorite films of.
It's an older movie.
It's Flawless.
Okay, got it.
And the way he does it, the way he makes that film is brilliant. And another one, it's again, I think it's got Michael Caine in it. They're two old war buddies, and he was like, this gang robs his mate and kills him, but no one wants to do anything about it, and he takes it into his own hands.
Right. You'll have to let me know. Anyway, buddy, I'm gonna end the stream. I got to get that done for her. And everybody, I want to thank everyone here that come out, whether it be Silver Tea or Blistering Barnacles or Passion, of course, was lovely having her on, and Magna Man, who's busy doing his thing, Cranky Stacker, and my goodness, we even had videos on here, and Austrian Stacker, and Christopher Ty, all kinds of visitors that were on. It was great.
There's quite a few. It's good being here. It's been a while. It's been 4 months, man, since I last streamed.
Yeah. And I'll be on every Monday, same time, same bat time, same bat channel. And hopefully we can do this again, because this is great having you on. And you can share some of the British coins on your side as well. We're just saying goodbye there, Magna Man. We're heading out for the night.
Oh, okay.
All right. I want to thank you for coming up to visit, and do come back again, because we're meeting every week here.
Yeah, I'll try and get back on next week. See what we're doing first.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know anyway in the meantime.
I appreciate that. And in the meantime, and in between time, thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Have
Peace
yourself a great night.
And hopefully see you again. And my channel will be up and running with great new content very, very soon, hopefully when we move. And it's going to be a different format from what it's been the last few months, well, almost a year, I think it is, something like that. But I just needed to upload some stuff, because once you monetize, if you don't do much, you end up going back down again. And
yeah, don't want to do.
So that's why I'm putting out coins almost every day. Oh, I've done them months ago. Just I thought we was going to move straight away, you know, as things were going okay, and get rejected and getting rejected and getting rejected, like 80 times now, I think. So it's been a nightmare.
Peggy, dinner.
Anyway, have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Thanks